Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
There she is dancing again.
You gotta dance to the intro.
Gotta dance to the intro. Ah, man. Some days we are going to be talking about poop, and today we're going to be talking about sweat. How about that?
Who knew?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, to you. This is Justin from ExtremeHealthRadio.com, and this is going to be episode number 80, so you can check it out at ExtremeHealthRadio.com/80. And I want to thank you for joining us. And I want to thank Mike Adams of Natural News Radio for having us on his network. That's naturalnewsradio.com. It's great to be on that network with Mike Adams of Natural News. So that's a lot of fun. And also, if you would like to follow us on Facebook, feel free to go ahead and do that. We'd love to have you a part of our community. We post a few times a day, and it's a lot of fun to interact with everybody. You can check that out at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook. And you can just click the like button and you're ready to go. Today, for reference, is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2013. That's right?
Yeah.
April 3rd, 2013. What else do we have to get to? Oh, if you'd like to send Kate or I an email, you can do that at kate@extremehealthradio.com or justin@extremehealthradio.com. Or if you'd like to call our voicemail line, you can do that at 949-391-7363. And I'll play your message to our guest on the air. And also, this show is brought to you by Amazon.com. And if you'd like to support our work and you purchase from Amazon frequently, feel free to use that link, and that'll just redirect you right to Amazon, and you can make a purchase and support our show that way. So that would be a great way to support us. I want to talk a little bit about our upcoming show schedule on Thursday. We've got a great guest, Raymond Francis from BeyondHealth.com, and he's been in the health world for about as long as Phil Wilson, for about 30 years or more, and so that should be a great show. And then on April 5th, Friday, we've got Dr. Mark Starr from 21centurymed.com. He'll be talking about thyroid health and the health of our thyroids and how that affects the rest of our body. And then on Monday, April 8th, we got the wild man, Dr. Robert Kassar. Do you know about him?
I know from you.
Yeah, he's a wild guy. He's living in Hawaii now, and
that's going to be cool.
Yeah, so his website is earthshiftproducts.com, and so that would be a fun show with Robert Kassar, Dr. Kassar. And today we've got Phil Wilson. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about sweating and the benefits of detoxification and sweating and far infrared technology and all of that. And Phil's been involved in the health world for since I think 1975. So he's been really into this stuff. And just before the show, he told us he was in the sauna today for
an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. That's amazing. Thanks a lot, Phil, for being on the show today.
Well, you're welcome. It's always very enjoyable being on shows like yours.
Oh, great. So were you really in the sauna for that long?
Pretty much. I call it spa day for Phil. It's not what I recommend for the person to start with, but boy, I mean, I've been meditating, off and on since 1970, 71, and you just get so clear, and plus the sweating can be so profuse, you feel totally cleansed and purified. I see it as more of a spiritual purification as well as a body cleansing as well. And every 2-3 weeks, I don't even know I'm going to do it. All of a sudden, I get in the sauna and I decide to stay and do it again and do it again. And I take a break, and sometimes I take a shower, and then I go back in another 5 minutes.
Wow, that's amazing. I was thinking, if I did that straight, I think I'd melt away or something.
No, after 22 minutes, I'm chomping at the bit to get out. I either have to open up the tent hole a little bit so I can breathe or drink some water, but then after 2-3 minutes, I'm ready for more.
That's how I get. Right around I try to go in for 30 minutes, but right around the 22, 23, 25 minute mark, I can't handle it.
Yeah, well, I learned the secret. It took me about 7 years to learn that instead of stretching my neck and doing all this sort of stuff to be able to stay in, all I had to do was open up the neck hole about another 8 inches, because it's not the heat. It's not the heat that does the healing, that penetrates deeply. It's the energy, or the light energy, that penetrates deeply into the body about 2 inches, pulsates the water molecules, and that gentle rocking of the water molecules relaxes the water molecules, and also gets all the heavy metals out. It gets the heavy metals out, the toxins out, and it also warms the body, warms the core temperature of the body, gets the water molecules smaller. The water molecules smaller gets the blood cells smaller, and therefore the circulation, the microcirculation increases. If the body temperature increases, that's going to mobilize the lymphatic system. So you have the lymphatic system, the circulation, and the body temperature all increasing. And then you also find something going on, is that the chi starts moving. And I just realized recently that, the chi is the invisible acupuncture meridians. And they're like invisible, but it's an energy, just like electricity is invisible, and the far infrared energy is invisible, but that invisible far infrared energy goes in, like you can think of it as water going into channels, and it goes into the acupuncture meridian channels and cleans them out. If it's blocked, if the energy is stuck, it'll help unblock it by this nice, loving, purifying energy coming in and in and in and in, and it unblocks it. Or if the energy is too fast, it relaxes it and slows it down. So you have this going on, you could say, etherically as well as physically, with the nerves and the cells and the blood and the lymphatic system. And the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna is so incredibly effective in detoxing the body. Dr. Sherry Rogers, I'm sure you are familiar with her. She wrote the book Detoxify or Die back around 2000, 2001. And she said the only way to get plastics out of the body, like of the firemen in 2011 or in 2001, if they breathed in toxic plastic fumes, can't get that out. She says the only way you can get that out, the plastics in your water bottles, when the water gets hot, those plastics, the only way you can get them out is through a far infrared sauna. And of course, everyone knows heavy metals are difficult to get out, and there are many, many herbal formulas that can get them out of the cells, but a lot of them fall short in that they're not able to get the heavy metals out of the body. And the far infrared energy from the Relax sauna gives the body the push it needs, the oomph, to actually get it out of the cells, out of the body.
So is that the same as people would do with chelation therapy, or are they different?
Well, see, chelation comes from the word, according to what I remember reading many, many years ago, the word claw chelate is like if the fishermen have a lobster or a crab on their fingers and they shake their fingers and they let go. And so by the far infrared energy coming in and pulsating the water molecules, that shaking of the water molecules forces the heavy metals to let go, and they go off. And then the lymphatic system, being mobilized, gets it out of the body through the sweat, through the urine as well. We've proven through tests that 15 minutes in the Relax sauna can get 3 times as much heavy metals out of the body in your next urine deposit, you could say.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing. So was I correct when I was doing the intro? You've been involved in this for about 30 years or more, right?
Well, I've had, my health food store. I opened up January 1st, 1980. Okay. I started selling health products in 1975, but I got into fasting and holistic health in 1971, around July or August of 1971. I've been, for a while fanatical, but then, you learn through experience to be balanced.
Yeah. So what happened? You just decided to become a little more balanced? At the beginning, I'm sure you were fanatical, right?
Yeah, I don't think you decide to be more balanced. You finally realize that I've learned that when you're for or against anything, you exile yourself from the God consciousness state. So I've had to come back maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago and do all the things that I said were wrong.
Wow.
To realize they're not wrong. It's like every person, everything has a season, and it's really, a major hurdle to realize that what's right for you is right for you, and that everyone, in time will probably come to something similar, but you can't force your rights upon someone else.
Right. That makes so much sense. And so on your website, you sell lots of different crazy products I've seen on there. You sell massagers and all kinds of funny little things. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're the importer right now of the Acumasseur, which has got 2 red balls on a stick, and that's the best thing to do it yourself to get your shoulder muscles, your back, your traps, your whatever part of the body you can't get, you can get with it by yourself. And we started selling massage tools in 1980, 81, and basically, I like to say we've sold more massage tools or different massage tools than anyone in the nation over the last 30 years.
Wow. And so you actually have a couple different types of saunas too. You have the lie down model, and then I also saw you have a black version. Which one is that?
Well, that's the same Relax sauna. It just has a deluxe tent. Right now, that the price is astronomical. We don't even try to sell it because it sells for $4,000.
Okay.
But the regular Relax sauna sells for $11.95, and is good enough for 99.9% of the people on the planet.
Well, it's interesting too because that's really not that much. If you look at a lot of the wood saunas, I mean, those things are going for $4,000 or $5,000 as well.
Well, when I was at the Anti-Aging Expo in Florida in April, we had a doctor come up to us and said, Phil, I've got an $8,000 wooden sauna in my house. I have your Relax sauna in my house. I use yours every day.
Wow.
He said the other one took 35 minutes to warm up, but I guess maybe as it gets older it takes longer, but even 10, 15, or 20 minutes to warm up is sort of funny because you could be in the Relax sauna with an 18, 20 minutes and have a complete sweat before the other one's ready to get you warm.
Yeah, that was one of the great things that I love about your sauna is that you turn it on and immediately it's starting to get warm, and within about a minute you're full heat. And I'm used to going into saunas and having them take 30 minutes to.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, and
right, exactly. Well, I had 2 well-known authors in the span of 2 weeks. One of them said, "I can't believe how good it feels in 30 seconds, and my hair doesn't get messed up." This was a woman doctor. And then 2 weeks later, just like clockwork, "I can't believe how good this feels in 30 seconds. Send me one."
Wow.
And those are the kind of responses we get.
Speaking of that, we were talking about how it's so great you can stay in so much longer because your head's out.
Well, yeah, a lot of people have said that. I said, well, what do you like best about the sauna? And I like to joke and say, well, we're pro-choice. We believe you ought to have the choice to have your head in or out.
That's so very deep of you, Phil. That's awesome.
Because a lot of times I take out the chair and I sit on the floor and I just do it that way sometimes.
Oh, really? So you'll put your whole head in and just sit on the floor like that?
Like the hokey pokey, you put your whole head in.
I never thought of that. How many people have you talked to that usually do that way?
Well, my wife does it that way all the time, but the way she does it is too hot for me. So what I do is I have to take the poles out, and then I put the radiator sideways where it's facing the top, and so it's not too hot.
Oh,
I
right.
see. That makes sense.
Yeah, but and a lot of times I like sitting in the chair with my head out, and sometimes I like sitting in the chair with my head ducked. I do that for 5-10 minutes, and then I'm out for the other 15-20 minutes. I like to do 30 minutes when I can.
Yeah, do you do 30 minutes a day if you can? Is that kind of your goal to do?
Yeah, I like doing it in the morning, and then sometimes a lot of people do it 15 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes at night before they go to bed, and they say they really relax and have great sleep. I mean, we had a doctor on YouTube where he had sleep whatever it's called, sleep apnea or
apnea.
Yeah, apnea.
Yeah.
And he has a wooden sauna he owned, And until he bought it and used it in his hotel room, he hadn't solved his problem. And so a lot of times when I do a lot of shows and people come to me and they say, I have a wooden sauna that costs $4,000. And I say, well, that's nice. And if you want an upgrade, let me know and we can sell you our sauna.
That's great.
I am finding this sauna to be literally one of the most amazing things I've ever felt. I'm sleeping, like you said, I'm sleeping way better. I'm feeling like lighter. My arms are toning. It's the weirdest thing.
we have a lot of literature on our website. I know you're selling the sauna too. And we want you to sell the sauna. Don't buy from me. Buy from you, Justin.
Okay.
But they can look at my website and they can look at a lot of the literature we have about all the different testimonies we have. I think we have about 140 testimonies on YouTube right now, including one doctor. I forget his last name, but his first name was Lionel. If you go into YouTube and say Relax Saunas Testimonials and then put Lionel, and he's a medical doctor saying that this is one of the best investments he's ever made.
I'm not surprised. What's the craziest testimony, if you can remember, of something you were surprised at, if you've ever been surprised at?
Well, I was in New Jersey. We haven't put this online yet, but we gave a talk, and while I gave the talk, 4 people, this was at the Mind, Body, Spirit Expo, 4 people got into the sauna. The 4th lady, when she got out, she's a massage therapist, and she walked in with a cane. And when she got out and everyone was leaving, and she said, oh my gosh, that I've had chronic pain in my hip all day. It's been, very, very, very painful. And there's no pain at all. Wow. I mean, and then she walked down to the booth to purchase a sauna, and she said, there is no pain. I mean, she says, if I were not experiencing this right now, I would think that I was a plant.
No way.
Like on TV, right. All of a sudden they drop their crutches and they can walk.
Well, I know that when we got to meet you, the pleasure of meeting you at the convention we were at, there was a woman you were talking to who came up to you and said that she hadn't had any relief from fibromyalgia, and you recommended it highly for people with like autoimmune problems, arthritis, all that. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
We have a lady in Tampa, Florida at the Louise Hay conference, the I Can Do It conference. She has had chronic pain for 30 years, and after experiencing the Relax sauna, she was pain-free for the first time in 30 years, and this was just 10 minutes. Her sister pulled her over back to the booth, almost like by the ear, saying, you are buying this sauna.
Oh, my gosh. I believe it.
And I heard from her about 7 months later. She had no money. I said, okay, you need the sauna. I will give you terms. After she paid it off about 6-7 months later, she came to me. I mean, she wrote me an email saying she's off almost all drugs completely.
No way.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Phil, we got to take a short break. I want to ask you after the break about, I know you can't make claims and, things about cancer and things like that, and you got to be very careful, but I want to ask you some of your experience, maybe just talking with people in that regard, because I think this is a really, really powerful thing. Mm-hmm. And we're with Phil Wilson, the inventor. Are you the inventor of the FAR Infrared Sauna?
No, I'm a promoter. I'm really good at, I have an Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. I attract all this weird stuff to me, and then I educate people about it. I present it.
I love it. All right, we're with Phil Wilson, and he's with the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna, and we got to take a short break. This is really interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, the sauna is amazing. So we got to take a short break. We'll be back with Phil Wilson right after this. It was really cool. A while back, we had Deborah Lynn Dad on our show, and that was episode number 45. She's kind of like the queen of detoxification and getting toxins and chemicals and poisons and drugs out of your body and out of your home. She has a really, really great website. And again, that was extremehealthradio.com/45, her interview that we had. And she turned us on to a really cool product. It's a natural zeolite, which is pretty amazing, actually. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you could check it out at extremehealthradio.com/zeolite. That's ZEOLITE. That will redirect you to this really cool product that she turned us on to, and I talked with her at length about it, and I've been doing a lot of research about it. And zeolites are adsorptive, so they're positively charged, and they bind to anything that's negatively charged, which is like toxins and poisons and chemicals and all these things that we're exposed to. And what they do is they just pull them out of your bloodstream. The size of the zeolite molecule is really important too. So the smaller the size, the more powerful and the more toxins it's going to grab onto and flush out of your body. And this one I think is 0.03 microns, which is really, really small. I think it's the smallest in the industry from what I've learned and from what I've researched. So it's really, really a cool product. And if you're living in the modern world and want to get these heavy metals and toxins and poisons out of your bloodstream, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/zeolite. And it's about, I think, $24 per month for a bottle. And it's really a great way to get rid of these toxins and poisons out of your bloodstream and capillaries and out of the cells and all that kind of stuff. And we really, really liked the product and spoke with the company and trust Deborah. She's done a lot of great work. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out, extremehealthradio.com/zeolite, or you can read about it more on our store as well. And thanks for listening, and let's get back to the show. Like that?
I can't help but dance every time that music comes on. I think Phil's probably dancing too.
We just ran an ad for a zeolite, and that's another great product that we like to recommend. And I like to use it along with the sauna for detoxifying heavy metals, and
yeah.
It's great to use as well as the sauna. It's kind of an overall protocol.
Yeah.
So Phil, do you guys use zeolites and things like that to use as on top of the saunas and all that?
Yeah, we've been selling zeolite in my health food store for about 7-8 years, and I highly recommend zeolite. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great product, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So before the break, we were kind of just talking, and I wanted to bring up some things about specific diseases because Kate mentioned fibromyalgia and that lady that you were speaking with at the convention. Yeah. And I know
we've had many others, by the way, with fibromyalgia.
Oh,
we
really?
had a lady at the Veggie Fest in Chicago, and within 1 or 2 minutes, all her fibromyalgia pain disappeared. She said, "I know exactly what I'm doing with the $1,000 my husband gave me for my birthday last week."
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people. One lady, now this is interesting. She said, "I bought the sauna because I heard it could help for fibromyalgia." Yes, it did, but you didn't tell me that I've had restless leg syndrome, actually restless body syndrome, for a number of years. I've been on 8 experimental drugs with the doctors. None of them have ever worked, but since I've been using the saunas for the last month, all my symptoms of restless leg syndrome and more gone.
It's not surprising because, I mean...
Not really.
I guess it would be if you just heard this and you'd never used it, but after using it like we have, it's just, you step out in a feeling of euphoria and just puddles of sweat, it's...
Well, even if you don't sweat, my wife uses it with her clothes on for pain management for 5 or 10 minute spurts at a time.
Wow.
You don't have to take your clothes off because when you go out into the sun on a cold day and the sun is really hot and you're cold and you close your eyes and you could be wearing a winter coat and you feel the warmth inside your body.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's talk a little bit about what it's constructed of, because I know the outside tent portion is a pretty important material, which is something that the wood saunas don't have. How does that differ from just the conventional wood saunas that most people are used to?
Well, you got to remember, it's not the heat, but it's the light energy that does the effective penetration into the body. And this light energy, being a light, is reflected by mirrors. So the whole tent surface of the Relax sauna has silver embedded in the nylon cloth, so it acts as a mirror. So you're in the middle of an invisible far infrared light box because it's constantly bouncing off the walls or the sides of the tent and then coming back and once again penetrating deeply into your body, going in 2 inches, going out, etc., etc.
Okay, so it's almost like there's mirrors inside there.
Right, and also, see, wood is porous, and if you're in a wood sauna, the far infrared energy would hit you and then go into the wood and either go out or be absorbed or whatever, but it doesn't bounce back. And so if you're not in front of the panels, which aren't as effective as the semiconductor chips in the Relax sauna, we'll talk about that later, but if you have to be in front, and so a lot of times people will get a two-person wooden sauna, and they will sit in the middle in front of the window, and so they're not getting any of the energy. It's like, like being in the shade and trying to get sunlight. It's not possible.
Wow. Yeah, yesterday when I was using it, it was interesting. I was putting my hand at the very top just to kind of test the level of heat that I could feel. I know it's more about the light than the heat, but just testing the heat, it heats up completely evenly. I was putting my hand all the way down to the ground and then all the way up, and it's just completely the same level of heat all over the inside of the sauna, which is really great.
Yeah, we've been at a number of shows, and people have told us, after just experiencing it for 5 or 10 minutes, that the heat is evenly distributed, and they just love that. They just love it.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So the outside is a silver. It's lined with silver actually on the inside as well, and that reflects all of the light, right? Well,
actually, there's a blue nylon inside to keep it prettier. But again, when you're in the sunlight and you're wearing a winter coat, the far infrared light goes through your clothes, penetrates, and then goes into the body. So similarly, the nylon on the outside, it goes through the blue nylon and hits the silver and bounces back.
Wow, that's amazing.
That is incredible. So
now with the sauna itself, do the parts ever need to be replaced, or how long will they last, and how does all that work?
Well, basically, the mechanism, the semiconductor chips and the far infrared radiator, which by itself sells for $895. This is the magic of the Relax sauna, the fact that they have a generator. It's like comparing a Vitamix motor to a Hamilton Beach blender. It's like there's a night and day difference. So the Relax sauna generator uses 20 in each radiator semiconductor chips, and those chips transform the electrical energy into that exact frequency that resonates with our water molecules, that pulsates them, that gets the blood moving, that gets the water molecules shaking, that's absorbed into the body. And that the technologies otherwise are even the wooden saunas technology is probably only about half of what the Relax sauna can do. And the portable saunas that sort of look like the Relax sauna, they can't even hope to be anywhere as effective as the Relax sauna, because the chips are. It took, like, I got a degree in mathematics, and I was specialized in solving math problems. I was published as a high school student in national mathematics high school journals as solving problems. And the problem that the Relax sauna company had in Taiwan is they had to be able to, how do you transform electrical energy into this far infrared light? Now, basically far infrared light will hit tourmaline, a rock, jade, charcoal, carbon, and each of those will maybe emanate 10, 15, 20% far infrared light back, and some materials 1%. So how do you get the proper alloy to do that? And then what the Relax sauna did is they were able to put whatever alloys or far infrared materials into the semiconductor chip, and then put heat components and all sorts of other things. And it took them 10 years to solve the problem. And it's patented as well.
Wow. So yeah, I see a lot of the other saunas that look like the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna, but they're just lacking that technology then.
Well, yeah, and then this is copying is a form of flattery, but there's one particular company that copied our literature, copied some of our pictures, and they still have. I was looking yesterday. They still say the semiconductor chip something like cool down. And it's like it's almost nonsense, because the semiconductor chips get so hot, just like a computer if you didn't have the fan on a computer, the computer would get so hot it would turn off. So if we didn't have the fan, which blows the hot air off the semiconductor chip, this keeps it going. And one of the companies that copied our information, and if a physicist would look at what they're saying, it's like totally nonsense. It says that the semiconductor chips cool the fan, the heaters.
My gosh.
I mean, it's like, I mean, there are marketing ploys out there, and it's sad that some people aren't real ethical. But a lot of I mean, like we have one lady on YouTube saying she just gave her other sauna away, and I've got about 4 of them that I buy for $100 each as trade-ins when people buy Relax saunas.
Oh wow!
And and I've got I finally quit. I said, fine, keep it. I don't want it. but a lot of times the saunas also. There's another lady on YouTube who said, no, I like the other sauna, but yours is way more effective, and I'm getting yours now because I'm going to the next level.
Right.
So some of the cheaper saunas, I mean, they're very primitive, but my gosh, they're wonderful. I had one for a year and I loved it. But then again, it's like an example of a car. If you've been riding a bicycle and all of a sudden you get a car that can go 30 miles an hour, you're pretty excited. But once you find a car that goes 70 miles an hour and you get that, the car that goes 30 miles an hour, you don't even want to use anymore.
Yeah, it's not worth it. In my mind, if you're going to spend $500 on an imitation, I would just spend, a little bit more and get the real thing. And
to be honest, like when I was doing that detox a couple of years ago that I did, my practitioner had me sit in a infrared sauna, like the wood type, and they charge $1 a minute, and I was in there for like an hour, and I was doing that twice a week. It's like, it's such a joke what you could spend your money and get and use for a lifetime,
Well, I would say that the Relax sauna does in 20 minutes what any other sauna takes at least an hour to do, and the Relax sauna does it better and more effectively.
I completely believe that. And what was funny is I'm not a good sweater, and this thing I'm like sweating within 10 minutes. But when I did that one up at the, when I went to that little one and sat in there for an hour, I wasn't even sure. I'd get out and I'm like, I think I'm sweating. I'm not sure. But it's nothing like this. So it's pretty exciting to see the difference.
Hey, Phil, how hot does it get inside there?
Well, it can easily get up to 140 degrees, even a little bit warmer than that.
Wow.
What I tell people is the heat is not the factor. If you get too hot, you just open up the neck about 6 or 7 or 8 inches, and you don't lose any light. You just lose the heat, and then you can feel relaxed and enjoy it. If anything, the Relax sauna gets almost too hot. The heat does not do the healing. It's the light penetrating your body deeply.
That's good to know about the neck vent, because I've been opening the arms and it helps a lot, but at the end I get so fidgety, it's kind of like, I want to be done.
I did that for 7 years. For 7 years I would move my neck and do all the stretching exercises just so I could go that extra 8 minutes to 30 minutes. And then finally I realized what I was saying, the heat is not doing it, it's the light.
Right.
You know what I did yesterday? It was really a good experience. I did kind of this whole protocol thing. I did a couple minutes of rebounding, and then I did some skin brushing, and then I got inside the sauna, and then I just sweated like just incredible amount. And then after that, I took a cold shower.
Oh yeah,
that felt amazing. I couldn't tell you. It was just amazing.
Spa day for Justin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You ever do things like that where you do the skin brushing and to kind of mix it up and then get in the sauna?
Well, this morning, when you're in there for an hour, all you got to do is take your fingernails and go on your shoulder or right on your back, and all the dead skin falls off, and you feel really good, or you could use a skin brush. Mm-hmm. But getting the dead skin off is important so your skin can breathe properly.
I hear you. And so, if I were someone who were really, really sick with the diagnosis of cancer or things, I know we can't make any claims here, but I would definitely be using it as part of my protocol. Have you heard of people using it for really chronic diseases like that?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, there's a 4-page sheet booklet we created called the FAR Infrared Medical Facts, and we quote a lot from a lady in Japan doing research. Mm-hmm. And one of the quotes I like a lot is, besides cancer, this lady has found that far infrared ray is good for all these other diseases. In other words, it's implied. Now, in Tijuana, Mexico, they've got about 8 or 9 cancer clinics there because, they can do things there that they can't do in the States. And as far as I know, every single one of those clinics either requires or strongly recommends that all their cancer and AIDS patients use a far infrared sauna.
Wow, it does not surprise me because that's one of the main areas of detoxification is through your skin, right?
Well, yeah, and it's going to augment any protocol. Any protocol is going to be augmented. It's like you almost have spiritual purification going on. It's like if you get the lymphatic system moving, if you get the chi moving, you're gonna be able to finally get out of your body those things that are impediments to your health.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I liked about it too? I watched a promo video, and on that video, I think it was under your account on YouTube, it talked about the ability for the sauna to make the blood vessels larger. So in effect, that would be good for your heart as well,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic actually did a study and recommends far infrared saunas for all of their heart patients. And they says, well, see, heart patients should never get into a regular sauna or a hot tub, because if they do, their heart has to race to find an equilibrium between their body temperature and the outside temperature. But in the relaxed sauna or in a far infrared sauna, the heart does not have to race because the inner core temperature is increasing enough so that the outside and inside temperatures are in equilibrium.
Wow, that's great to know because I was diagnosed as a teenager with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and this is going to be a great thing to use just kind of as a way to stay healthy and make sure that my heart stays healthy.
Well, the Detoxify or Die book by Sherry Rogers, she talks a lot about heart health. She also has another book called the Blood Pressure Hoax, and she's an environmental medical doctor, and she came out in 2001 with the information about far infrared saunas. Now, there's another man who wrote a book in 2007. He's a doctor, he's a dentist, and a medical doctor as well, and he wrote the book No Sweat. That's N-O, sweat, no sweat, K-N-O-W, sweat. And in this book, he talks about the history of sweating, and then he talks about what far infrared sweating can do. And I talked to him recently about, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and he has an associate who's bought about 20 of the Relax saunas from us, and he is saying the Relax sauna is an awfully good sauna. Right now, I'm currently writing a booklet about why the Relax sauna is so good. And I think he actually said it's the best sauna there is, but I'm not totally sure, so I don't want to quote him that. But he certainly prefers it and has been using it and likes it very much. And his name is Dr. Bill Akpinar, and he wrote the book No Sweat, No Sweat. And again, we have many people who are well known in the health food industry who are coming aboard and saying the Relax sauna is the best sauna there is. Or at least, in my words, it's the most effective.
Yeah, we love it. Oh, go ahead, Kate.
Oh, is this sauna not recommended for pregnant people?
Oh, good question.
Well, I think pregnant women, I think it's best for them to sit in their room and twiddle their thumbs. Everything else is dangerous, And so, the Relax sauna says in their literature, pregnant women should not use it. But I talked to a woman who said, I used it every day through my pregnancy, and my baby turned out really healthy, and I just loved it. So, I say, consult your own inner counsel.
Right.
Talk to health professionals, make your own decision, but don't do it because it's recommended not to do it by the official policy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you know how long that lady used it for each day, or if she did use it on a daily basis?
It was just, she stopped by at the booth. Don't even know her name. She just said she used it all the time during her pregnancy.
Wow.
And most people who use the Relax sauna pretty much use it 4, 5, 6 days a week.
It seems like with pregnancy that some of that, if people did use it, it would take away some of their aches and pains just from being pregnant. That seems like that would make sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, just do it gingerly. Do it for 5 minutes. That's not going to hurt you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, just use common sense and and you know, like you're in a hot pool. You just don't jump in. You just gradually ease yourself in and make sure that it's not too hot.
Right.
I love it. All right, Phil, we got to take another break here. We'll be right back with Phil Wilson after this break. If you're like me, chances are you've tried lots of different whey protein powders and different protein powders on the market. The two I like are Sun Warrior Protein and One World Whey. One is vegan and one is not, but One World Whey, I love it. It's 100% raw and grass-fed, coming from Amish farmers with healthy cows. It's an incredible product. It's got about 25 grams of protein with each scoop, which is really, really high. It increases the glutathione levels in your body. It helps to eliminate heavy metals and toxins out of your body, as well as radioactive fallout from chemtrails. And it helps to decrease inflammation in the intestines, which helps with having healthy bowel movements. It builds lean muscle, and it's great for your skin and anti-aging. It increases your energy levels. It's really, really a great product, and it's not just for building muscle. It has so many benefits, and you can learn more about all the benefits of this incredible product at extremehealthradio.com/whey, W-H-E-Y, and it's put together by Synergistic Nutrition, and One World Whey is the product name. I highly recommend checking it out. If you are interested in buying it, please consider doing it through us. We'll get a little commission, and you will see what I'm talking about. You're going to be hooked and addicted to this stuff. So consider this product as part of your daily protocol. Maybe put it in your smoothies, and just, it's really, really a great product. So thanks for listening, and let's get back to this interview. All right, we're having a good time with Phil Wilson of the Relax FAR Infrared Sauna company, and talking about a lot of great stuff. And before the break, you know, Phil, I wanted to ask you, as far as the sweat goes, has there ever been any testing that's been done on the sweat or urine that comes out of people after they use the sauna?
Well, there was research done in Japan where they actually took the sweat out of the Relax sauna. You know, I mean, they gathered it up, and they did say, yes, there are heavy metals, there's metabolic waste, there's dioxins in it, which is chlorine, and there are fats, and all that thing has been found in the sweat. And then they, after Karen Russell reported that her heavy metal toxicity blood report showed that her, finally, for the first time in 2.5 years, her mercury and her lead were normal for the first time in 2.5 years after using the Relax sauna 1 month only. These people said, wow, we didn't know that this got rid of heavy metals. And so they did some research and found out not only did it get rid of, you know, heavy metals in the system, but after 15 minutes being in the sauna and then giving urine before and after, there was a lot more heavy metals in the urine, between 30% and 300% more heavy metals in the urine after being in the sauna for just 15 minutes.
Wow. Kate and I recently just had our blood tested by a couple different people, and we did a dried blood test and a wet or a live blood cell analysis, and both of them came back really high in heavy metals. And you know, we live a pretty clean lifestyle, but it just seems like in today's world, I mean, you're exposed everywhere you go to this kind of stuff, aren't you?
Well, Doris Rapp wrote the book Our Toxic World, and she has recommended the Relax sauna to a lot of people that she's met through the years, including Karen Russell, who I just talked about. But she wrote the book Our Toxic World, and yeah, you know, and Sharon Winters, How to Thrive and Survive in a Toxic World, and she promotes the Relax sauna as well. You know, a lot of people are writing books about, you know, what can we do? The air we breathe, the chemicals that are in the vegetables, the meat, the water we drink. Oh my gosh, it's a polluted world, and at least we have the Relax sauna that can detoxify us. You know, along with the zeolite, of course.
Right, yeah. Recently, my wife and I were just out on our patio, just laying there on the deck, and we see these planes going by, and they're just spraying these huge chemtrails, and I'm sure you've got those things around where you are too, right?
Well, yesterday we didn't see any in Columbus, which was wonderful. But yeah, I don't trust what they're putting in those chemtrails. I mean, my wife has reported to me that they've done reports on the internet, and there's all sorts of terrible things in what has come from those planes, and I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. But again, you can get all upset at what people are doing, and that's one thing, but the main thing is that you have the Relax sauna, and that can detoxify you so you can survive in this world a lot better than you could if you didn't have the Relax sauna. When God gives us toxins and all the sorts of junk, it also, on the other hand, gives us solutions to the problem or to the situation. And the Relax sauna, I see as the FAR Infrared sauna, is one of the things that has come into this world to help us cope with the other terrible things that are happening.
Yeah, I love that. With every bad thing there is in the world, there's always a solution, and there's always a substance or a tool that you can use or something like that to detoxify whatever it is you're being exposed to. It's great, because if we lived in a world where we were constantly exposed to toxins but we had no solution, I mean, that would just be horrible.
Feel pretty hopeless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've for some reason, I've always believed that there's always a solution. And, and this reminds me of a statement I read many years ago. It says, there's no truth greater than a lie that you believe to be true.
Oh, wow. I like that.
That's a good one.
That's why Dr. Christopher a long time ago said there's no incurable disease, but some people are incurable.
Yeah, it comes down to mindset, right? For a lot of people.
They believe lies. They believe the lie is greater than their own inner intuition, their own inner connection.
Yeah.
What can I say? All I can do is have compassion for those people, speak my truth, say that there are solutions. If you look inward, you can find them. And when you do that, that's how a lot of people come into the outside, listening to this radio show, hearing about the Relax sauna, ordering one from you, and my gosh, and their life improves because they listened.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love when people take control of their own health. And so now tell me a little bit about, as far as the technology itself. So when the light hits your skin, I think you mentioned a while ago, it goes about 2 inches deep, and then it starts vibrating the water molecules. Does it go any deeper than that? Or what's the technology? What happens when the light hits your skin?
Well, when you go out into the sun, you have ultraviolet light, you have far infrared light, and you have near infrared light. Okay. Now, the ultraviolet light hits your skin, and because it doesn't resonate with your water molecules because the frequency is too far off, the skin says, wait a second, you're not an invited guest. You don't harmonize with us. We're stopping you at the border, and there's like a lot of friction, and that friction can cause suntan and sunburn because we resist the ultraviolet light, which is not in harmony, does not resonate with our water cells, with our body cells. Similarly, if you've ever been in the presence of a hair dryer or a toaster or a space heater, they get the skin real hot and they heat the air, but they do not penetrate deeply and feel as warm as the sun does. The loving energy of the sun I call far infrared ray. That's the warmth of the sun that you feel inside your body on a cold day, or even on a hot day or a chilly day when you're lying in the sun and it's 60 degrees out and you're trying to get warm, and when the sun comes out you feel that incredible warmth penetrate deeply. But sometimes you also feel the skin on your skin being hot, and a little bit's nice, but too much of that becomes uncomfortable. And so if you're in front of a space heater or a hairdryer, it's very harsh. It's not warm and loving. And that's the problem with a lot of the other saunas on the marketplace. They got too much of that energy that I call filler that, may or may not be safe, but regardless, it's not deeply healing like the far infrared light. And we're the only sauna that I know of that can be called the far infrared sauna in Taiwan, because they have a legal definition of far infrared sauna in Taiwan. You have to be at least 95% far infrared energy. So when you look on the internet and you see all these cheap saunas for $200, $300, $400, look at the technology, look at what they have, and a lot of times they never tell you what generates the energy. But that and a lot of times they call themselves infrared saunas. After they call themselves infrared saunas, then they talk about the benefits of far infrared ray.
Oh, okay.
And their sauna itself has very little far infrared ray. maybe 20, maybe 40, maybe less. Some of the better wooden ones have 60 or more, but those cost $4,000.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Our dentist, Dr. Stuart Nunley, you may know of him. He's out in Texas. He actually I think he was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Prior to seeing the light, he was removing mercury fillings and all that kind of stuff, mercury amalgam fillings. And he came down with this incredible neurological disorder. And one of the things that he used to bring his health all the way around was really high doses of vitamin C with far infrared sauna, which is, I'm sure you've heard stories like that all the time.
Yes, I've met Hal Huggins a number of times. Hal Huggins, bought one of our radiators from us, and I've seen him talk at 6 or 7 times. I've read his books. He also says that root canals are not so hot either, besides the mercury. And we go to a lot of biological dentistry or holistic dentistry shows, and it seems like almost every biologic dentist or mercury-free dentist has a far infrared sauna themselves because they have to protect themselves, from the mercury vapors that they, most of them don't put mercury in, but a lot of them have a history or a past where they used to out of their own ignorance until you could say they awaken to the atrocities.
I'm so happy for the people awakening, because even in the past year, I've had 2 or 3 people that I know in my life that are dentists that have either passed away from cancers or are really, really ill. And it's starting to, I think, open people's eyes to what they're exposing themselves to over a lifetime of these careers.
Yeah, it's sad. I know there's a famous author who goes around giving talks about how the average age of a medical doctor is 56 years old.
Oh.
Wow.
And the average life of a human on the United States is 72. And people go to those people to look for advice on how to live long. So what's wrong with this picture?
It's not happening.
Oh, you got some problems.
Hey, Phil, have you ever heard of a thing called a niacin flush that people do with far infrared saunas? Have you ever heard of that?
Well, both Dr. Sherry Rogers talks about this. I think actually L. Ron Hubbard introduced like 5-hour-long sweats and using niacin. And it's too bad he didn't know about the Relax sauna, because you don't need to do a 5-hour sweat. You could use the niacin along with the Relax sauna and get much, much quicker results and more effective results. But again, I can't prove this. All I can say is the Relax sauna and the niacin, and there's also nitrous oxide is a healthy thing to do. And there's so much. But yes, I encourage people to experiment, gradually experiment with all these things, because whatever we can do to cleanse the mind, cleanse the emotions, and to become clearer and clearer, get rid of all the lies,
right.
All the lies that we've ever believed, and anything we've ever believed has to be a lie, because there's only one truth, and that it is, everything else is you could say a lie and a truth. It's like that's a half truth.
Right.
And sometimes something will help you, and then when I was reading the book A Yaqui Way of Knowledge, what comes to help you eventually can hinder you. It's like the pigeons are given like pellets to eat, and they after doing a certain behavior, and then when they do that behavior, it doesn't happen, and they're too stubborn to say, okay, get back into the present moment. This isn't working anymore. Let's find out what works now. And it's really difficult to let go of everything you've learned, to realize that you're on another level, that the rules have changed, and that you have to get into the present moment and assay the situation and then respond accordingly.
I'm learning a lot about that right now, too. Becoming quickly one of my favorite books is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and it's exactly what I read last night about kind of ditching everything we've known to be what we think to be true. And it's a wild concept, but I'm starting to wrap my mind around it. It's a really exciting journey, I think. Well,
we're called momentum, and that's when you take advantage of the moment, you propel yourself into greatness. And there's always, in every moment, there's a wave coming by, and it's an invisible wave, and you can let it take you, and when you do it, you soar into a whole new state of consciousness, and that's the importance of always bringing yourself back into the moment. Not living in the moment, but taking advantage of the moment. That means you always have your antenna up, waiting for a new experience to grab you.
Hey, so Phil, what is your diet like these days? Are you doing the raw vegan thing, or do you do any animal products? What kinds of things do you eat?
Well, I haven't had any raw turkey in a while, but I did have some raw turkey this morning. But I hadn't done it for 4 or 5 years, and 2-3 months ago I had it for 3-4 days.
Wow.
I used to be vegan. I used to do a lot of macrobiotics. I've done a lot of fasting. Again, it's like having no rules, living in the moment, and all of a sudden you feel like eating something you hadn't eaten. My wife gave me a Hostess cupcake for Christmas, and I ate it, and I don't want to eat anymore. But it was fun eating that one, and I enjoyed it. But a lot of times, if you do what you're against, you dispel all the fear of it, and you're free of it. So, it's like when Arnold Aird, who wrote the book Rational Fasting, after he cured himself of Bright disease, then he experimented by doing things that he didn't do, and therefore you can see real clearly when you do a food that, and sometimes you say, okay, I can handle it, and other times you can't. So my diet is pretty clean, pretty pure, but I like to eat vegetarian, but I like to eat organic food, I like raw milk, raw cheese, and I go in cycles. I can be strictly vegan for a month and be fine, and then if I feel like eating, and so again, I've got the sauna and I got fasting, are two of my tools I use to rise above living in this world full of toxins.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. So as we're wrapping up this interview, are you working on any new projects, anything going on with you as far as your company is concerned these days?
Well, we're promoting the Relax Sauna. This is, my greatest impetus right now in getting it out there, getting information about, educating the public about how wonderful it is. I'm also for 40 years I've been wanting to write books about spiritual awareness, and I think finally the time has come where in the next 6 months or year and a half I'll be able to get something published in that area.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. Wow, Phil, thank you for being on and talking about the sauna and all the benefits. And man, it's a lot of fun. It was great meeting you too the other day up in Long Beach. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed meeting both of you. You're both delightful and you're shining beans.
Thanks, Phil. So, any other things you want to mention prior or before we take off?
Well, yeah, I think people can order the Relax Sauna from you off your website. Mm-hmm. Let them know that.
Yeah, I'm not much of a salesman, but yes, people, if you're interested in this, you can check out our sales page at extremehealthradio.com/sauna, and we're going to be putting this interview on that page as well. And it is a significant purchase. It's a little bit of money, but your health is well worth it, I believe.
Well spent.
Yes.
So many people. Every year when I do shows, the last show I did, 5 people came to me and said, I got your sauna a year ago or 2 years ago. We love it, we love it, we love it, and on and on and on. Believe me, it's one of the best things you can do for your health by getting a Relax sauna. It really belongs in every home.
Oh, I love it. Hey, Phil, would you mind holding on the line for just a second?
Not at all.
Excellent. Thanks for being on today. I appreciate it.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
So what do you think about Mr. Phil Wilson?
I love that guy.
He's good, isn't he?
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
You feel like you just want to have him over to dinner, hang out. He's just cool.
Yeah.
I loved meeting him. He's just a legit, real dude.
Did he say that he ate raw turkey? Did he say that?
Yep, he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. At first I was kind of laughing, but then I realized he was serious, and I thought, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, because that would be akin to almost eating like a raw chicken, right? Raw chicken?
Yeah, which people do. We got to get someone on the show talking about that kind of stuff.
We did. We had Agenus Vonderplanitz.
Oh, you're right. I was not there for that one.
The raw meat.
That was the raw meat.
That was pre-Kate.
That was. He was the thyroid reset guy, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, with the thyroid shake.
Yes.
So if you are interested in buying a sauna and want to do it through us, like I mentioned on the show, you can do that at extremehealthradio.com/sauna. And you can look at some of the videos that we have on that page, and we're going to be putting this interview on that page as well. And it's definitely something worth saving up for, I think. I'm not much of a salesperson and don't want to push products on people, but we have to do that to some degree. But we have it, and it's just a really great thing.
Yeah.
It's I use it about 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, I feel like I think there's only been one day I haven't done it recently, and you kind of feel guilty because it feels so good. Not only what we get out of it, but you also feel like your health is just so worth it that if you don't do it, you feel kind of bad.
I was thinking the other day, what if you sweat, if you used it every day for 30 minutes, I know this would be impossible to do, but for over the course of like 30 years, and you were to add up all of the sweat, like if you're able to weigh it out.
Oh, yeah.
I bet it would be probably gallons.
Oh, I'm sure.
And think about all the gallons that would be of whatever toxins and plastics and chemicals that you sweat out of your skin.
My gosh.
Wow. That would be pretty cool thing.
Be a cool experiment. It'd be a hard experiment, but wouldn't that be cool to see?
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to do that, but that would be interesting. I bet you sweat out gallons of toxins if you do it for a lifetime.
I bet.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I highly recommend this sauna.
So if you're interested, you can check out that page, extremehealthradio.com/sauna. And what else? If you would like to sign up for our mailing list, that would be great too. We've got hundreds of subscribers on there, and you can do that at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe. And I want to thank Mike Adams of naturalnewsradio.com for having us on his network. And we also, if you'd like to donate to us, you can donate $5, $10, $2.
Yes. Do it. Blessed by anything.
You can do it monthly if you'd like, and that will help to make sure that we can pay all of our bills and really make sure this show stays free for everybody, because that's our goal, is we want to just make sure that anyone can have access to it for free. And we're building up quite a library here, which is great, with lots of interviews, and we have a store as well if you're interested in checking that out. We sell all kinds of great products, and I think we sell the Omron nebulizer now, and
cool.
The Austin Air Purifier, along with the blender, the Vitamix, and the Excalibur dehydrator, and the Bellicon rebounder, the Ejuva cleanse,
protein powders,
and all the stuff from Daniel Vitalis from Surthrival, as well as Mountain Rose Herbs. If you ever go buy herbs online, Mountain Rose Herbs is the best place to do it. So check out our store. We've got lots of stuff there for you if you're interested in anything like that. We'd be honored if you would purchase through us. And what else? Is there anything else?
Just want to go get in that sauna.
And we should have done the show from the sauna.
I probably wouldn't be. I'd probably be asleep.
You'd be asleep. That's
how relaxing it is.
Oh, man.
I could fall asleep in that thing.
It'd be interesting to get the lie down version as well.
Oh, gosh.
You would fall asleep in that.
I tried that thing out, remember?
Yeah, did you like it?
Convention? Yeah, I loved it. It's a whole different feel, but they're both just as cool.
Yeah, they're both great. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to this interview, and pass it on to your friends, like it on Facebook and all of that kind of stuff. We'd really appreciate that, and it's an honor to be on here with you and helping you out. If you want to email Kate, you can do that at kate@extremehealthradio.com, or you could email me, Justin, at extremehealthradio.com. We'd love to help you out or answer any questions that you have.
Yes.
Do our best to set you in the right direction. So, and Kate, didn't you have an inspirational quote?
I just made one up.
Oh,
it's
right.
When in doubt, sweat it out.
There you go.
You can quote me on that.
We'll quote you on that.
That's